Hi, I'm Tina Piro. I'm a homeschool family coach and I work with the Homeschool Hero Toolbox. And I wanted to do this vlog today to kind of give my testimony of how I became a homeschool mom and how I became a homeschool coach. Now I have 5 kids that I've homeschooled. We've homeschooled preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, and at one point I had them all at the same time. Now my story of how I started homeschooling starts about 15 years ago. I had a lot of friends that had started to pull their kids out of school and start homeschooling, or they had been doing it, and they kept coming to me and telling me all the benefits and how it would bless my kids if I tried it. And I thought they were really cute and really crazy. I loved public school. I mean, this place, they took my kids for 6 hours, 5 days a week. They gave them knowledge, they fed them food, they let them play in the playground, they sent them home tired. It was a miracle in a building. It was awesome for me. It gave me a chance to be a superhero preschool mom. I would teach my kid finger painting with ketchup and mustard, and we'd play games and go outside and run around in the sprinklers and just have a good time. And it also afforded me the chance to work from home and run my own business without all 5 kids being there. So the thought to me of homeschooling, it was ludicrous. It was absolutely crazy. And public school really was working. They were getting a good education. I felt like I was involved. I volunteered as an art teacher once a week. I'd go into my son's first grade class. I'd go into my other son's kindergarten class and be a reading aide. With my middle school and high school kid, I was there for every function and every conference and every open house, and anything they did, I was there. And when they came home, I spent time with them. I got to know them. I mean, I loved my kids, and I felt like we had a great relationship. They were getting a good education, and there weren't any issues at all. And then my son that was in first grade went into second grade. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about him. He is brilliant and easily bored. It's a problem he's had since he was born. He doesn't like to sit down. He does not like to listen to long lectures. He just wants to feel it, touch it, explore it, get it done, and move on. So he enters his classroom with a teacher, and her method of teaching is stand in front of the classroom, tell a bunch of stories, and do a little lecture, and draw on the board. And he was engaged for like 5.2 seconds. And then he's staring out the window and making up his own stories in his head and not paying any attention at all. So I finally get this phone call, and she says, Tina, we've got a problem with your son. I said, really? Well, what is it? I couldn't imagine him acting out. He was a good kid. And she says, oh, no. He just sits there and he daydreams. It's like he's not even there. She says, I think he either has ADD or autism. I said, well, ADD is possible. I have ADD. You know, that could be it. She says, oh, okay, well, what are you going to do to medicate him? It really took me by surprise. The first thing she wants to do is medicate my child. And the first thing that popped out of my mouth was, well, do they have medication to make you any less boring? So I was not the parent of the year at that moment. She did not like me at all. I felt kind of bad, but she just sat there and asked me to medicate my kid. So after a while, and nothing improved between her relationship with my son, and nothing improved with his ability to pay attention to her sitting up there talking. And so I finally pulled him and my younger son, who was in the first grade at the time, out, and we put him in a public charter school. And this was a Waldorf education. It made my artist soul sing. I mean, they did all this hands-on stuff. They were teaching them how to knit, and while they would talk, they'd give them crayons so they could draw what they were hearing. And they had all these wonderful colors and fabrics, and they've got these big pillows they can lay on. I mean, it was just wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. And so I put them in there, and I had all these high hopes and expectations, and I thought, this is great. We can keep on in school, and everything's going to be fine. Everything was fine at first. And then we started to notice that the school was a little different. When my 2 kids came home, my intellectual self had to cringe and push my artist soul aside, because they're telling me that their teachers are having them repeat over and over again, fairies are not make-believe, fairies are real. Okay, I mean, I'm all for imagination. I mean, that's great. But this went beyond imagination. And we had a little problem. We lived by a big open field. And so every now and then we'd get these cute little field mice that would come in. And we had one. And he was in our wall. And you could hear him at night, you know, scurrying around in there. And so I guess they went to school and they were talking about how there's this thing in the wall. And they were told that it was a little green goblin. Yeah. That's what they were told. And not like, oh, this is cute, you know, cute little story. No, this was real. So my kids came home to inform me there's a little green goblin living in our walls. It took Swiss cheese, a mousetrap, to convince him it was not a little green goblin, but a little fuzzy gray mouse. So I was disturbed, to say the least. And that wasn't just one thing. I mean, it was just kind of one weird thing after another, and I started to get just this weird vibe off of it. We ended up finishing out the school year, but during that time, I decided, I went before the Lord, and I said, Father, I've got an educational dilemma. I mean, for all these years, I've had my kids in public school, and I've loved it. And now I'm having this experience, and it's really making me question what I'm doing. So I'm asking you, Lord, please, what do I need to do? Where do I need to put them? How do I intervene? What can I do to help my kids? Now I'm going to interject. Don't ever ask God a question like this unless you really, really, really want the answer. Because the next thing I heard resonating in my spirit was homeschooling. I was like, Lord, is that you? Because if that's you, I think you got the wrong house. You're trying to talk to the neighbor. As you're not talking to me, this girl will never homeschool. So like I started my homeschool journey the next year. He really did want me to homeschool. And I remember going and getting some advice and hearing, you know, yeah, if God is calling you to do this, you really need to obey. You need to do this. So we moved. At that time, we were in Oregon. We moved to Tennessee. And I just thought, you know what? We'll just start fresh. We'll start new and we'll start to homeschool. And I'll be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. I was terrified, like white knuckled, panic stricken, had no clue what to do. And I had, at the time, I was only going to homeschool my preschooler and now a second and third grader. And I thought, you know, I can handle that. I put the other two, they were both in high school at this point. And so I put them into high school and we started our homeschool journey. Now, God was really, really faithful to me. And he'll be really, really faithful to you too, I promise. If he has called you to homeschool, he's going to provide the means to do so. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to have a crisis at some point, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel overwhelmed or scared, because I know I did. But you continue to seek him, and he will show you how to get through this and how to make it good. Because I was at a Boy Scout event. I decided I had to socialize my kids. I was so afraid of them being unsocialized and just awkward, and I was afraid I was going to end up awkward. So we went somewhere where we could get some other kids and some adults to spend time with. And we're at this Boy Scout event, and I'm walking out, and I see this poster, and it was for first class co-op. And it was parents coming together once a week, and they would teach classes, and they would fellowship, and the kids would get to do field trips and all this stuff. And it just really, really made me feel safer. I wasn't alone. So the first thing I did, I called them and I got involved. And that was probably the best thing I did, because I got involved with other people and I came together with them, and we helped each other to grow, getting different ideas and teaching different classes and coming up with science experiments and field trips and friendship. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was keeping myself socialized and having friends that have the same passion. Now, I had left all my homeschool friends in Oregon, so I was brand new, and I found this great community. If you are out there right now and you're feeling that feeling that you're completely alone, you don't know where to go next, I really highly encourage you to find a group to get involved with. And you can visit me at my website, thehomeschoolherotoolbox.com, and I have a membership that you can join, and we will get together once a month. I'll do webinars a little bit like this, except we'll have questions and answers, and you can communicate with me and the other members. I'll also have an email group and a Facebook page, and where we can connect, share ideas, and support each other, and help each other find even local resources you can get involved in. You can also look up for homeschool co-ops in your area, but I just encourage you to find that connection to somebody else. It really, really helped me. So I then ended up homeschooling, and I have been homeschooling for over 10 years, and we have been through everything. I have homeschooled when I had a 1,500 square foot room designated just for homeschool. I mean, we lived out on a farm. We had everything you can imagine that you would need. It was great. And then we downsized. I'm in a 924 foot townhouse trying to homeschool. And so we've had plenty. We've had too little. I have homeschooled through divorce and death of my mother and personal illness. And the whole time God kept encouraging me. I called you to this. I asked you to do this for my kids. I want you to continue. And no matter how hard things got, no matter what things looked like, no matter how frustrated or burnt out I felt, the Lord always came through. And He gave me strength, and He gave me resources, He gave me people. There are times where I had no money to buy curriculum, and the Lord showed me a wonderful, wonderful free curriculum that I could use that was mission-based and taught so much about the people, different people in the world and different cultures. We've had such a rich experience in our homeschool education that I know comes straight from God. And He created what I call my homeschool hero toolbox. And it's just all of these ideas and these tricks and these tips and these places to go for help that are like a toolbox. And then whenever I get stuck or feel burnt out, and I can reach in there and pull out something and really, get back into the game. And so at this point, now that my kids are, like I said, I have 2 that are graduating in the next 2 years and a middle schooler, I'm kind of getting where I've got a well-oiled machine. And I want to take what the Lord has given me and pass it on to you. I want to be able to help you to get through those hard times or those times where you just feel stuck and burnt out, or when you have questions. Or I'm here to really help homeschool families to make a rich and alive experience for their kids. So that is my testimony, and that's kind of how I started homeschool and where I got today. I would love to get to know you and to work with you, to give you some of these ideas and these tricks. I mean, I can even show you how, while you homeschool, to fundraise. I don't know if you knew you could do that, but you can fundraise just like public school does to get a little bit of money for field trips and curriculum and things like that. There are ways that you can work from home, that you can use the skills you have to bless others and bring in an income as well. I can teach you how to get free and discounted admissions to places, that there are homeschool classes in areas you had no idea that they offer. I found out that our local chemical company, Eastman Chemical, that they actually hold free chemistry classes for homeschool kids. So I have all these tips and tricks that I'd love to share with you. So please visit me. You can find me on my website, www.thehomeschoolherotoolbox.com. So it's www.thehomeschoolherotoolbox.com. You can also find me on Facebook at The Homeschool Hero. Please come and like my page and comment, get to know me, ask questions. I'm always there to help. On my website, you can find a free coaching call. We can get together, we can talk for about an hour, and I can help you to get a strategy together, to clarify what your goals are, to find out kind of what your learning style is for your kids, and to put together a curriculum and a homeschool hero toolbox for you to use. This is a great time to start. We're in summer, but school is coming up faster than we can even imagine. It's just in a blink of an eye. So let me help you get started for next year. You can also find these videos on YouTube, so go ahead and look up the Homeschool Hero Toolbox and subscribe. That'd be great. I am, again, excited to join you on your journey. I am praying for you, and I pray that the Lord would bless you in this time as you take this opportunity to really engage in your kids' education. And thank you so much for watching. God bless you.